Well, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, depending on where you are and what time you're watching this and all that nonsense. It's your boy, Celine Driver. That's me. Bringing you another episode of Not Walking, Walking and Talking. I'm not walking because my back is still screwed up and walking is not a lot of fun. Not that I can't do it, but it's not a lot of fun. It's also, about 110 heat index out there, and that's not a lot of fun either, but it's mostly the back. Anyway, time to touch on another subject that crossed my radar recently. And this falls under the category of what the hell, man. I recently noticed that a couple of northeastern Marxist-led cities, specifically New York and my origination point of Boston. I mourn for the city I was from. Have come up with a couple of whining addresses to their populace regarding the illegal immigrant population. And yes, I'm calling them illegals. I'm not going to call them undocumented migrants or, asylum seekers or any of that crap. No, they're illegal. The moment they set foot on American soil, crossing the border, not doing it through a border checkpoint, not doing it through legal channels, they became illegal aliens. They are not supposed to be here. But that's beside the point. That can be another walking and talking video on its own. Recently, Boston's, it may have been Massachusetts governor and lieutenant governor, but they were doing it in Boston. That may be a little confusion on my part. But leaders in the head of some place in Massachusetts, I'm pretty sure it was the governor, not the mayor of Boston, but I'm sure the mayor of Boston agrees 100%, got on TV and had the unmitigated gall to say to the residents of Massachusetts, to beg them, please, please, if you have a spare room, if you have a spare suite, that's a quote from the address, if you have spare room, please donate it to the state so that we might house an illegal immigrant or an illegal family or some such nonsense. Now, they didn't cover whether or not the state would pay for this or you'd have to pay for this, but they're actually asking, in violation of a constitutional amendment, kind of, the non-quartering of soldiers. I think that may be a little broad here, but it might apply. You never know. But certainly asking the residents of Massachusetts to give up spare rooms, to guilt them into giving up spare rooms to house the illegal immigrants that they caterwauled about by saying, we are a sanctuary city, we are a sanctuary state, and all illegals are welcome, and you will not be hunted and hounded and so on, unless, of course, you're 50 immigrants from that were bussed in from Florida to Martha's Vineyard, in which case in under 2 days they were immediately bussed out to a military base somewhere else in Massachusetts, because despite the fact that they had yard signs saying, we are a sanctuary and no illegal will be turned away and such nonsense, they got 50 of them from Florida. Good job, Ron. You should send more. They kicked them out in under 2 days. So despite and I'm sorry, my neck is really not doing well today. Despite saying that they are a sanctuary state, and a sanctuary city and all that, they can't handle the trickle compared to states like Arizona and Texas. The trickle of illegals that they get there. They want to have private citizens house these people for God knows how long. Meanwhile, in New York, where the mayor of New York, a former cop, bald-headed guy, I forgot his name, was saying that, we are a sanctuary city and all illegal, all undocumented whatevers or asylum whatevers are welcome here. They're on TV crying about they're out of money, and they want $12 billion for the illegals that they have now. I think they want it from the federal government. $12 billion to house them and get them housing and get them whatever they need to live illegally in New York City. Somebody else did the math that I'm cribbing from on this one. That works out if they're assuming 100,000. It was estimated there are 100,000 people in New York City that are there illegally that they can't deal with. And that works out to about $120,000 per illegal. So we're just gonna, I don't know, stroke them a check for $120,000. I don't know where the money goes. Does the money go to the city? Does the money go to the individual illegal? The details are obviously the typical Marxist Democrat fuzzy about what happens to the money when the federal government dumps it on them. And they're going to get the money from the Pudd'nhead regime. Anything to destroy America is founded. And if it's only $12 billion, hell, that's chump change. They can find that in the cushions of the White House couches right next to the cocaine that Hunter Biden left. But I digress. That's your taxpayer money, my friends, yours and mine. Because if it comes from the federal government, that means it comes out of your wallet and my wallet and your bank account and my bank account. Because the federal government, even though they print money like it's free, they also tax the living daylights out of us all. And that money that will go to New York City is federal money, which means it comes from the federal tax coffers, which means you're paying for New York City's foolish sanctuary city stupidity. Now, I don't know about the rest of you, but I have a problem with this. These people are here illegally. They're not fleeing oppression. They're not fleeing political tyranny. They're not fleeing persecution. In most cases, they're being smuggled over here by coyotes who basically sell them into indentured servitude, which is a fancy name for slavery. They're being assaulted, they're being beaten, they're being raped, they're being, in some cases, killed along the journey. They're dying in the desert, they're drowning in the Rio Grande. They're being smuggled all over the place in hellish conditions. And then when they finally get to wherever the hell they're going, they're basically slaves to the coyotes until they pay off their smuggling fee. This is not conspiracy theory. This is not conjecture. This is well reported, well documented fact. Fact. And now these cities and these states that are so deep blue, they almost reflect all light instead of absorb it. Can't handle the results of their own stupid policies, so they expect you and me, the taxpayers, in other states, including real America states, red states, states with proper laws and enforcing the laws of this state and this country, they expect us to pay for it. When are you people going to wake up? When are you people going to get your heads out of the sand and look up and realize that your country's being taken from you? It's being destroyed from within by elites that don't care about you. They don't care about the people that they're dumping in this country. They don't care about the diseases and the fentanyl and the crime that they're importing. They just, I don't know what their end goal is other than overwhelming the system a la Cloward and Piven. And if you don't know what that is, either Google it or go read a book. And breaking it down to the point where they can hit the great reset button and install a new system that leaves them comfortable and in charge, and the rest of us with the jackboot on our throats. And yeah, I know that might sound conspiratorial, but you know what? I look around and I don't see any good coming out of any of this. And I certainly don't see any good coming out of dumping $12 billion into the cesspool that is New York City to prop up an economy that they're killing on their own by their own votes of the people that they put in there to create the policies that are destroying the very city they live in. You know, there's an old saying, don't crap where you eat. Well, New York City voters have been crapping where they eat for decades. And now right-thinking people who obey the law, people who pay the taxes, do the right things all the time are expected to pay for it. Someday we're all going to wake up from this nightmare. I hope it's soon, or else God help us all, really. But those are two stories that crossed my news feed, really, that got me incensed enough to make this video of not walking and talking, and that's all I got to say about it. Obviously, I vehemently disagree with the begging of the New York mayor and the Massachusetts governor and the Boston mayor. I vehemently disagree, and my message to those people and all the rest of the people in these sanctuary cities and sanctuary states is basically this. You created your own goddamn problems. Now you solve them. Get your hand out of my wallet. That's all I got to say about it. It's your boy, Celine Driver. That's me. Another walking and talking, well, not walking and talking video. Hope you enjoyed it. If you did or you didn't, make a comment down below. Hit the thumbs up, hit the thumbs down. I don't, either way. But thanks for listening.